And because you have a winner taste, 88.5 FM is your only station.
What a pleasant good morning and welcome to King's News Broom. 45 minutes of the most compelling news stories for Liberia and other parts of the world. Today's Monday, January 27, 2025. I'm your presenter, Otis Sankan. Topping the news this morning, U.S.-based human rights group Panoramic Justice Group petitioned the U.S. government to impose sanctions and revoke U.S. visa of key senior Liberian government officials for violation of human rights. A 15-man coroner jury investigative report indicates foul play in the death of 8-year-old Sia John, who was discovered dead around the Kintoman Hill community in Virginia. Liberia National Police acknowledges malhandlings of BBC correspondent Mose Gasewu by one of its officers on Saturday at the SKD Sports Complex, says it is thoroughly investigating the matters. Away from Liberia, Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on Rwanda to withdraw its forces from the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's the Democratic Republic of Congo territory, an M23 rebel group to stop its advance on the eastern city of Goma amid intense fighting. The headlines will take a break to return with the full bulletin of the news. Thanks for rejoining us on this morning edition of the news. The US-based Panoramic Human Rights Justice Group is calling on the U.S. government to impose sanctions and revoke U.S. visa of senior Liberian government officials who they believe are violators of human rights and also review Liberia eligibility under the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Compact. The group calls follow a separate letters addressed to the chairman of the Subcommittee on Africa in the U.S. House of Representatives and U.S. Secretary of State's alarming over alleged human rights abuses under the administration of President Joseph Boakai. The communication also detailed on what it described as a litany of violation that they claim threatened to reverse nearly 2 decades of democratic progress in Liberia. The U.S. Human Rights Group referenced the Kinjoy incident in Grand Kidman County, which took the lives of 2 persons, the death of Boulevard Palace hotel manager, and violation of journalists' rights by state security officer, ritualistic killings, and systemic failures within Liberia's justice system, among other things the government failed to address. The group executive director, Dr. Gagbert Jidepo, also expressed concern that Liberia is rapidly descending into authoritarianism, with security forces supplanting democratic institutions. Mr. Jidepo at the same time urged the U.S. government to cut the long-standing ties between Liberia and the United States, noting that the U.S. has invested over $4 billion in stabilizing Liberia and fostering democracy over the past 18 years, but with little or nothing being done by the Boakai administration to uphold the principles that guide the relationship. A preliminary investigative report released by the 15-man coroner jury into the mysterious death of Sia John, an 8-year-old girl in Virginia, has indicated foul play. Early Sunday, January 25th, little Sia John, who reportedly went missing, was discovered dead in an unfinished building around the Kitoman Hill in Virginia, Lofa County. According to the jury report, a black backing and white underclothes was found on the deceased with blood stain. The jury reports further pointed out the discovery of a cut mark between the victim's chest and stomach and also a deep cut around her throat and anus. However, serious residents of the Kintoman Hill community have expressed total fears over mysterious circumstances surrounding the death of the 8-year-old girl. According to a local media reports, the elder brothers to the victims discovered little Sia body in an unfinished building with a knife and a blood stain around the crime scene during a search after she went missing. In recent days, reports of mysterious killing, particularly adolescent girls, have increased in different parts of Liberia, as a 14-year-old identified as injured 12 was recently found dead in the unfinished building behind the Lord Carey Baptist Mission Clinic in Brownsville with bloodstains and toilet tissues around the place she was discovered dead. The Liberian National Police has acknowledged the incident that occurred between BBC correspondent Mosi Gasewu and an officer of the Liberian National Police on Saturday at SKD Sports Complex in Painesville. In a video circulating on social media, the BBC correspondent was seen in a scuffle with an officer of the Liberian National Police, with many expressing mixed reaction over the incident. However, the Liberian National Police has assured the public of a thorough investigation into the matter, thus urging everyone to remain calm and refrain from any actions that might escalate the situation. The Liberian National Police further emphasized its commitment to upholding the principles of press freedom and ensuring accountability for all parties involved. In a bid to enhance government communication and improve public engagement, former Minister of the Ministry of Information on Friday, January 24, held a day-long strategic meeting organized by the current Minister of Information, Jerry McPia. The meeting here at MICAD headquarters served as a platform for the exchange of ideas and experiences among past and present officials with a focus on addressing communication strategies and fostering collaboration. Minister Pia, in his opening remark, emphasized the significance of leveraging institutional membranes to improve the ministry operations. He said the IREC's agenda for inclusive development is focused on government communications to the public in making sure the message goes down to the people. The information minister reiterated the government commitments to practical solutions by consulting experienced hands. Speaking on behalf of his colleagues, former information minister Louis Brown thanks PR for convening the meeting and described it as timely. Ambassador Brown reaffirmed his colleagues' commitments in an effort to create a dynamic and effective communication framework for Liberia and to enhance government communication. Monrovia City Mayor John Shiafat has underscored the need for a multi-stakeholder approach to waste management across Monrovia. Mayor Shiafat said waste management is a serious concern for Monrovia City, but stated that it requires collective efforts by government, citizens, and stakeholders. He noted that waste management is one of the ways to a healthier life and environment for all citizens. Monrovia City Mayor pledged MCC dedication to curbing waste issues in Liberia, Mayor Shiafat declared. He spoke over the weekend during events where the Student Representative Council of the United Methodist University honored him for his efforts in removing garbage and making Monrovia clean. For his part, UMU Student Representative Council President Matthew Fogbet indicated that Major Shiafat recognition came of his efforts in keeping Monrovia and its environment clean. Fogbet also called for partnership between the MCC and the UMU Leadership Student Representative Council in addressing the issues of management of waste in Monrovia. A little girl identified as Angel T. Weir was found dead in an unfinished building in the Lord Carey Baptist Mission in Brownsville. According to information, Angel got missing Wednesday, January 22nd, after telling her aunt that she was going to do an assignment at one of her friends' place. The girl, believed to be in her 14, was discovered dead Thursday night in an unfinished building behind Lord Carey Mission Clinic with drop of tissues around her. Inja is said to be a student of the Assembly of God Mission School. It is believed that Inja might have been gang raped and killed by the rapist. Montserrat County District 16 Representative Dixon Sibu has challenged state security officer to provide evidence linking him to the Capitol building fire incident. Representative Sibo's statement comes in response to a communication from the Liberian National Police asking the House of Representative leadership to summon Hinasera's lawmakers for questioning regarding the incident. According to him, he will not be intimidated by what he termed as a strategy by the state security to distract him and his colleagues from the main issues which, among other things, focuses on the respect for the rule of law. He emphasized the need to prioritize the peace of the country, thus calling on the government to adhere to laws that govern the states and its people. Also responding to LMP communication, Montserrat County District 15 Representative Abu Kamara expressed his innocence, noting that he had no connection to the Capitol building incident. He further emphasized or re-emphasized his commitment to upholding the laws and cooperating fully with the ongoing police investigation. The Montserrat County lawmaker made a section Friday on Banat FM. The Minister of Justice Oswald Twed has emphasized that the Justice Ministry is making frantic efforts to increase access to justice and trust in the justice system of Liberia, stressing the need to create the investment climate that is peaceful and safe. He said in 2024, the Justice Ministry encountered 116 cases. Out of that number, 106 cases were won, while winning 2 cases out of 4 at the ECOWAS court. Mr. 12 further noted that the Economic Department of the Ministry is reviewing concession while also negotiating some for economic growth of the state. He named the distribution of vehicles to county Antonians across the country and the approval of 100 procurement contracts, giving legal opinion as some of the achievement on his leadership as minister. To emphasize the vetting and recruitment of executive director for the War and Economic Crimes Court, adding that a little over 2,000 pre-trial detainees were released in 2024 who committed misdemeanor and other minor offenses. The Solicitor General of Liberia maintained that the Justice Ministry has put in measures and is creating more awareness throughout the country to eradicate mob violence, stress the need for citizens to exercise restraint and respect the rule of law. The chief judge at the commercial court at the Temple of Justice says Liberia's natural resources must be benefit for economic prosperity, social growth, and must not cause retrogression in the lives of the Liberian people. Judge Marby Morgan made or said at all times the resources must be managed, utilized, and harnessed to promote growth in the society as measured in the lives of the ordinary people. Judge Morgan made the statement when she spoke at the launching of the projects on transparency and good governance and the natural mineral by Integrity Watch Liberia with fundings from the Irish Embassy in Monrovia recently. The chief judge at the commercial court observed that Liberia is rich with a variety of high-priced natural minerals, beautiful lands, evergreen tropical forests, amazing rivers, aquatic species of various forms, wildlife, economic and religious values. But interestingly, most of the resources exist beneath the land, and it's very difficult for the community people to have the financial resources to invest in them. The executive director of the Liberia National Heritage and Cultural Development Association, Solomon Weirweir, has initiated a campaign calling for the release of former Liberian President Charles Taylor. In a statement posted on his official Facebook page on Thursday, Weirweir urged a reassessment of Taylor's conviction, claiming that the trial by the Special Court for Sierra Leone in 2012 was unfairly selective. He emphasized on the consistency of international justice and questioned why other leaders who supported rebels factions during Liberia's Sierra Leone Civil War, were not similarly persecuted. The Liberian activists further accused regional leaders such as African President Felix Boigny, Guinean President General Lassana Conné, and others of facilitating Liberia's civil war, which resulted in over 3,000 deaths. Meanwhile, Taylor's imprisonment remained a highly decisive issue in Liberia, with others reviewing it as a war criminal or viewing him as war criminals, while others argued that his conviction was influenced by geopolitical factors where international power selectively applied justice. And in foreign news now, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on Rwanda to withdraw its forces from the Democratic Republic of Congo territory and the M23 rebel group to stop its advance on the eastern city of Goma amid intense fighting. At the UN Security Council emergency meeting on Sunday, Congo Foreign Minister accused Rwanda of declaring war by sending its troops over the border to help the rebels. The calls come after 13 soldiers serving with peacekeeping forces in the DR Congo were killed in clashes with M23 rebels, UN and army officials have said. South Africa said 9 of its soldiers were killed while deterring an advance on Goma. 3 Malawian soldiers were killed, the UN said, while Uruguay army said one of its soldiers had died. M23 rebels have taken control of vast part of mineral-rich eastern DR Congo since 2021. Hundreds of thousands have fled their homes, the UN said. In the past few weeks, the group has been advancing swiftly on Goma, a city of more than 1 million residents, amid intense fighting. The news bulletin. Indeed, if you are just joining us, it's a reminder that you're in tune to King's News Broom. 45 minutes of the most compelling news from Liberia and other parts of the world. Stories we carry this morning: U.S.-based human rights group Panoramic Justice Group petitioned the U.S. government to impose sanctions and revoke U.S. visa of key senior Liberian government officials for violation of human rights. A 15-man coroner jury investigative report indicates foul play in the death of 8 years old Sia John, who was discovered dead around the Kintoman Hill communities in Virginia. Liberia National Police acknowledges manhandlings of BBC correspondent Mose Gaisewu by one of its officers on Saturday at the SKD Sports Complex, says it is thoroughly investigating the matters. And in foreign news, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on Rwanda to withdraw its forces from the Democratic Republic of Congo territory and the M23 rebel group to stop its advance on the eastern city of Goma amid intense fighting. We'll take another break to return with the voices that make the news. Welcome back to the news program. As you may hear in the news, the chief judge at the commercial court at the Temple of Justice says Liberia's natural resources must be benefit for economic prosperity, social growth, and must not cause retrogression in the lives of the Liberian people. Judge Mappy Morgan said at all times the resources must be managed, utilized, and harnessed to promote growth in the society as measured in the lives of the ordinary people. She spoke at the Integrity Watch Forum in Monrovia.
Liberia's natural resources must not be an impediment to economic prosperity or social growth, and it must not cause retrogression in people's lives. At all material times, it must be managed, utilized, and harnessed to promote growth in our society as measured by the reflection in the lives of the ordinary person. Liberia is endowed with beautiful lands, lush evergreen tropical forests, high priced minerals, amazing rivers, aquatic life of varying forms, and terrestrial wildlife of cultural, economic, aesthetic, and religious value. Interestingly, most of these resources exist on or below land that are utilized or largely relied upon by community people for survival. The abundance of natural resources, I strongly believe, was intended by God for a higher power to be used strategically for the benefit and advancement of the standard of life by the people who inhabit the area or region where such resources are located. As the organic law of the land, it is unequivocal and express intent of the framers of the Constitution to ensure that government, community, and private entities extracting or harvesting natural resources work collaboratively towards the ultimate goal of promoting the welfare of the society and the people. Our statutes relating explicitly to natural resource extraction, harvest, trade, and or management, including the National Forest Reform Law, the mining law, the fishery law, the petroleum law, the National Wildlife Law, the Community Rights Law, and the Land Rights Act have integrated varying provisions that call for collaborative and inclusive management of resources, including the participation of the community, the government, the private sector, in some extreme cases, the end users.
She's the commercial court judge at the Temple of Justice, Judge Margaret Morgan. They're speaking. The Liberian National Police has acknowledged the incident that occurred between BBC correspondent Mose Gaisiwu and an officer of the Liberian National Police on Saturday at SKD Sports Complex in Painesville. In a video circulating on social media, the BBC correspondent was seen as scuffle with an officer of the Liberian National Police, with many expressing mixed reaction over the incident. However, the Liberian National Police has assured the public of a thorough investigation into the matter, those urging everyone to remain calm and refrain from any actions that might escalate the situation. To this development now, Monrovia Senate Mayor John Sheafat has underscored the need for the multi-stakeholder approach to waste management across Monrovia. Mayor Sheafat said waste management is a serious concern for Monrovia City Corporation, but stated that it requires collective efforts by government, citizens, and stakeholders. He noted that waste management is one of the ways to a healthier life and environment for all citizens.
Waste management is a major issue for all of us. Issues of our environment concerns all of us. And to find sustainable solutions cannot entirely rest with one point. It has to be a multifaceted approach, a multi-stakeholders approach. And when we talk about a stakeholder, you are also part of us. Today you stepped up to the plate. And for that, We're grateful. Thank you. Thanks to the police who couldn't be here. I want to also give to your school, the university, of course, that is imparting into you knowledge and that is training you. And also recognize and offer things to them even in absentia. We look forward to getting together in the short while. Our plans for keeping our city clean remains strong, we remain steadfast. It is our pleasing duty to do what we do. And that is why I would in turn want to dedicate this award to all of the men and women out there who are sweeping our streets, who are driving our trucks, who are cutting the grass, who are cleaning the gutters. They work day and night. Last night at 11:30 in the night, I was went out with my drivers, getting them. They had to go to Douala, Singapore Bridge, Carway Junction to take huge amount of this. Those teams stay out working till almost 5 in the morning. So I cannot take this without giving credit to those people. The mechanics who service the old trucks to keep it running, the people in the warehouse who wakes up and goes all out to get fuel midnight, the tire men who when the truck tire puncture or when the caterpillar tire go down, we call the tire men to fix it because we gotta finish up the race at night so that when you wake up in the morning you don't see it.
He's Monrovia City Mayor John Shafade speaking. For his part, the Student Representative Council President of the United Methodist University, Matthew Faulkner, indicated that Major Shafar's recognition came of his efforts in keeping Monrovia and its environment clean. Faulkner also called for partnership between the NCC and the UMU leadership Student Representative Council in addressing the issue of management of waste in Monrovia.
Student Representative Council, SRC United Methodist University, Republic of Liberia, certificate of appreciation to Mayor John Sharak Safa in recognition of your outstanding performance, leadership, and dedication as the Mayor of the City of Monrovia. We, the students of the above-mentioned university, award you this certificate for the efforts in ensuring a clean, green, and safe city. This certificate is given on this 24th day of January 8, 2025. On our receipt of signatures, signed Augustus C. Guaga Jr., Executive General, United Methodist University Student Representative Council, and is also signed by the President, Matthew J. Fuller, President of the Student Representative Council, United Methodist.
He's the Student Representative Council President of the United Methodist University, Matthew Faulkner, there speaking. Well, if you are just joining us, it's a reminder that you are in tune to King's News Broom, 45 minutes of the most competitive news from Liberia and other parts of the world. Today's Monday, January 27, AD 2025. Stories topping the news this morning. U.S.-based human rights group Panoramic Justice Group petitioned the U.S. government to impose sanctions and revoke U.S. visa of key senior Liberian government officials for violation of human rights. A 15-man coroner jury investigative reports indicates foul play in the death of 8-year-old Sia John, who was discovered dead around the Kintoman Hill communities in Virginia. Liberia National Police acknowledges manhandling of BBC correspondent Mose Gasiwu by one of its officers on Saturday at the SKD Sports Complex, says it is thoroughly investigating the matter. And in foreign news, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on Rwanda to withdraw its forces from the Democratic Republic of Congo territory and the M23 rebel groups to stop its advance on the eastern city of Goma amid intense fighting. We'll take another break to return with more development. Thanks for rejoining us. In a bid to enhance government communication and improve public engagement, former Minister of Information or the Ministry of Information on Friday, January 24, held a day-long strategic meeting organized by the current Minister of Information, Jeremy Pierre. The meeting held at MICAT headquarters served as a platform for the exchange of ideas and experiences among parks and present officials with a focus on addressing communication strategies and fostering collaboration.
Let me thank Minister Pia and your team. I recall when you were taking over here, you invited all of us who had the privilege of serving here before you and along with you. When people say government is continuity, sometimes they don't mean you need to consult people from the past. Let's just say I hope that others will reference this excellent example of yours. And we ourselves learned a lot of things from the exchange. There will always be challenges, but we are not measured by the challenges we face. We are measured by our determination to overcome those challenges. Now is your time. We know you will succeed. You have a very able team working with you. We're proud by some of the inputs they made. Some are meeting for the first time. All of us may be meeting for the first time, but some we've interacted in the past. With the kind of support that should come to this ministry, we are quite certain you will succeed in communicating to our people, not just what the government may or may not be doing, but where as a country we are headed. Sometimes people think communication is just about what the government has done, what the government has done. Communication is also about visioning. Where is our country going? How will it get there? That's part of the messaging that we are sure you have shown us in the past and you are showing today. Let me thank.
For his part, Minister Pierre, in his opening remark, emphasized the significance of leveraging institutional members to improve the ministry operation. Yet now is Minister Jeremy Pierre.
The government communication team that comprises MICAT, Public Affairs from the Executive Mansion, and LBS has been engaged with former ministers of information. Like I said from the beginning, it was our way of consulting with them since they are authorities in this field of communication. All of them were one time or the other year as Minister of Information or Acting Minister of Information, etc. Some of them grew through the ranks, like me. They were deputy ministers before coming to be minister proper. So they got a lot to offer as far as the sector is concerned. And so as a team, we thought it was important to consult with them on our work and what the country needs generally in terms of communication. And I want to thank them for honoring our invitation. We believe the meeting was productive. There's a lot that we've gained from the interaction with them, hoping that when we put the pieces together, it will further improve the way we communicate and allow us to do our job in some better ways. Don't doubt who they are. I know what each of these individuals carry. I know what they've made of. And we thought it was just logical to bring them to the table to seek their advice and then move together. So, dear ministers, on behalf of my team, I want to thank you so much. Just moving away from the different things you do to sit here for 3 hours plus, and I think so. We appreciate that you were able to come. This will not be the end. From time to time, we'll do these consultations. Somebody suggested I should not just be with former ministers. So we'll look in the society and see different actors. They could be church leaders.
His Information Minister, Jeremy Matthew Pierre, there speaking. To this development, the Minister of Justice, Oswald Twe, has emphasized the Justice Ministry is making frantic efforts to increase access to justice and trust in the justice system of Liberia, stressing the need to create an investment climate that is peaceful and safe. He said in 2024, the Justice Ministry had encountered 116 cases. Out of that number, 106 cases were won while winning 2 cases out of 4 at the ECOWAS Court. That Minister 12 further noted that the Economic Department of the Ministry is reviewing concessions while also negotiating for economic growth of the state. He names the distribution of vehicles to counties and towns across the country and the approval of 100 procurement contracts, giving legal opinions as some of the achievement under his leadership as minister.
Today marks a very significant milestone, not only for our prosecution department, but also for the pursuit of justice in our beloved nation. As the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General, it is a privilege to stand before you on this special occasion to dedicate these newly acquired vehicles to the one and all for our county attorneys and legal counsel. An essential step that echoes our commitment to ensuring that justice is served fairly and efficiently. When I took on the responsibilities of this position, I recognize that the strength of our justice system lies in the hands of those who work tirelessly to uphold the law. I am proud to say that after more than a protracted period, an estimate of more than 15 years, with what it means to adequately fulfill their duties, we have taken the initiative to equip our county attorneys with the resources they need. Resources that will empower them to serve their communities with dignity and effectiveness. It was very disheartening when I heard our dedicated legal professionals were riding motorcycles to the front line of justice. Today, we have closed that chapter. We are not only providing vehicles, we are restoring respect, facilitating mobility, and reaffirming our faith in the ability of our county attorneys to carry out their very important work. We are equipping our county attorneys to venture into their counties, to connect, to listen, and most importantly, execute their duty with all the impediments that previously hindered their efforts.
12 also emphasized the vetting and recruitment of the executive director for the War Economic Crimes Court, adding that a little over 2,000 pre-trial detainees were released in 2024 who committed misdemeanors and other minor offenses. The Solicitor General of Liberia maintained that the Justice Ministry has put in measures and is creating more awareness throughout the country to eradicate mob violence, stressing the needs for citizens to exercise restraint and respect the rule of law.
The Ministry of Justice has been closely monitoring and observing with great concern statements, comments, assertions, and utterances by the Minister of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday, invited an independent and impartial investigation into these allegations of torture. And the government stand by that. This government condemns such statement, which threaten to disrupt the fragile peace that our nation has worked tirelessly to maintain. These false claims are indicative of this concerted pattern of disinformation that seeks to incite fear or arrest among the citizens. We emphasize that the safety and security of the Nigerian people remain our paramount concern. The investigation has shown that the fire incident was an arson attack, which is a felony on our criminal law. The Ministry of Justice hereby strongly states that it will not shield or fail to arrest any individual who the investigation reveals play a role in the commission of the crime of action in that incident. If any person is implicated, be it a lawmaker or not, that person will face the full weight of the law, like any ordinary person.
He's Justice Minister Oswald Twedia speaking. Well, on that note, this is how I would like to draw the curtains on the early morning edition of the program King's News Broom. But before we take a leave of you, yeah, stories we closely carry this morning. U.S.-based human rights group Panoramic Justice Group petitions the U.S. government to impose sanctions and revoke U.S. visa of key senior Liberian government officials for violations of human rights. A 15-man coroner jury investigative report indicates foul play in the death of 8-year-old Sia John, who was discovered dead around the Kintoman Hill community in Virginia. Liberia National Police acknowledges manhandling of BBC correspondent Moses Gasewu by one of its officers on Saturday at the SKD Sports Complex says it is thoroughly investigating the matters. And away from Liberia, the Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on Rwanda to withdraw its forces from the Democratic Republic of Congo territory and the M23 rebel group to stop its advance on the eastern city of Goma amid intense fighting. Well, many thanks to all of our correspondents, reporters, and contributors who helped in making this early morning edition a success. On behalf of the entire news team here at Royal Communications Incorporated, my name is Otis Sankan. I presented. Thanks for watching and listening. Good morning.